Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, we're here to show you everything you need to know as a slasher in NBA 2K26. So, you can see we're in the good old notes section right here. I'm just going to give you guys a quick little summary on everything you need to know, and we'll get into some footage and stuff like that right after that. I just want to give you a little bit of a guide as to what you're going to be seeing in the footage in today's video. And also we'll talk about animations and stuff like that as well, dribble moves. I'm going to give you all the SIGs and stuff beforehand, and then you can watch the clips and understand me implementing those SIGs into the actual video. So anyway, let's get straight into this. I hope you enjoy, and if you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to 1,000 likes. So, dunk animations. I will be showing you that, not to mention, I am of the suspicion, and I already was literally from minute numbers like 1 of playing this game at Community Day, I was suspicious that contact dunk animations led to bad meter dunks in some cases. And let me tell you, I've been labbing a decent bit, taking a couple off, putting a couple on, testing them out. I have a couple of contact dunk animations that I really do believe are going to be superior. And I do think it's pro contacts off 1. To be fair, I haven't used elite contacts off 1 because it's like 99 dunk and 90 vertical requirement. That's just not going to be something that we use. So anyway, point being, lack of contact dunks equals a good thing. I'm here to just say, I think being specific with the dunk animations of the contacts is a good way to go about things, and eliminating the bad contact dunk animations that slow down really hard and get a lot of small meter dunks on them. That's just kind of my take on it. I'm currently using Elite off 2, so I haven't tested everything perfectly, but I think Pro off 2, not that great. We'll talk about that a little bit more once we get into the actual animations though. Anyway, dribble moves necessary to getting downhill and flipping your ball hand when someone has one cut off on a drive. So, point being, when you are moving to your left and someone cuts off your left, having a behind the back or a crossover that flips that ball hand over to your right hand and gets that leverage kind of corrected, if you will, is really important. Not to mention, we also talk about hop dunks. Hop dunks are by far the best gather in this game, if you ask me. I'm not a huge fan of the Euros and spins, and I think the main reason I'm not a fan of the Euros is that you have to commit to the take itself, whereas a hop, you can do the hop and come down with it and choose to pass even still. As opposed to a Euro, you have to commit to the take itself. And spins are a little bit suspect, if you ask me. Very bumpable. It's not like a super useful thing. Me personally, I've really implemented only hops mostly into my game so far. And I just find it hard to really, use others, if you ask me. But anyway, they are so back. They're really good. I have Julius Randle on that you'll see in the videos as well, that we'll actually detail in its own little clip section. Floaters also in its own little clip section. I've been showing Sabonis, Bam, floaters, stuff like that. You can get Bam on wings and bigs, Sabonis for bigs only. Easy to make for defenders sagging off if you can't shoot, or in answer to when you have your defender beat in like a half court setting. Let's talk, it's more like for fives, right? If you beat your defender off a dribble, but then they have someone rotate down and they got a guy that's maybe playing 2 off the wing to corner like really well as that corner rotated down, it might be a little bit easier for you to just not have to make that read and just throw the floater up instead. Because if the guy gets down early enough, you're not going to get a good dunk meter, because it's exactly what I'm talking about with the whole meter dunks aren't particularly good trying to jam straight on someone. It's definitely more of a blinders effect again. So if they are a late arriving help defender off that corner, it's a lot more doable. But to try and go right at someone who's sitting underneath the rim is not good in this game. You don't want to do it unless they are really low on the interior defense and block, but that doesn't exist in here. Let's be real. Like, nobody's really making 6'2", 6'3" guards with 0 block and 0 interior D. Most of the time, it's like a bulky 6'4" if it's short enough, or, I mean, realistically, they're just not going to end up in that area against you. And then, for the most part, it's a lot of 6'8" and stuff like that. So, point being, into my next section right here, interior D and block, even at a moderate level, seem to be, something to fear in terms of making your meters small. The average 6'8" is even capable of it in a good position, and sometimes even 6'4s and stuff like that seem to do it to me as well. I don't know, long story short, I think you just really got to be smart with your takes in this game, and I think a lot more about slashing in this game is about getting to a spot and getting into something, like as far as the dribbling that you get yourself to make it so it's a good dunk meter. It's kind of like 24 a tad bit. It's just like, it's not quite as extreme in terms of that whole blinders, like, big meter versus small meter. There's a lot of in between in this game. Maybe not a ton, but like more than we've had in 2K every other year. So, I don't know. It's probably the best dunk meter balance we've ever had, but it's not saying a lot. I don't think the dunk meter is particularly great in this game in terms of its balance level. A lot of times it's like you'll be there, but it's too late. And I honestly wish you could see every dunk meter again, like your opponents and your teammates and stuff like that. I think it'd be great for having more understanding of what exactly is good defense or not. But hey, I can't get greedy. At least we have the ability to see our own green meter feedback on the dunk meter again. That's insane that 25 even existed, bro. What a garbage game. Anyway, moving along. For standing dunk meters, you don't even really need a high standing dunk at an elite level, if you ask me. Like, point being, I made a build recently, and you guys will see it on the channel pretty soon. I don't want to give too many spoilers on what exactly it is. It's a 99 pass act build. I'll just say that much. But in order to achieve that level, I ended up going lower on my standing dunk and went to 81 just to get bronze or silver rise up, as well as having the pro contacts off, or the big pro contacts, if you will. Because I think having at least one contact dunk package for the bigs is important, because you want to be able to get standing, dunk meter contacts and stuff like that. But when you dribble your way into it or are moving, simply put, you're going to be able to get, the big man contact dunks to trigger, but it's going to be with your driving dunk rating instead of your standing dunk. So the only thing standing dunk is extremely important for is for being directly under the basket without moving and just holding down on your right stick. That's going to be more like off an offensive rebound putback or something like that, where you grab the board and you hold down on your stick instantly. And also 81 can still get the job done on that. It's not perfect, but it's still plenty makeable as long as you're decent with your timing on that. It's not crazy. Like I said, I'm not trying to hype it up too much, but it's doable. Anyway, blur takeover is broken. Hopefully by some time that you're watching this later in the year, poster machine gets fixed, but as of now, it doesn't actually do anything besides make you not have the time or press a button as far as like the alley-oops and stuff like that. So hopefully poster machine finally gets fixed on like whenever they do drop this first gameplay patch, and we'll be able to actually have some bigger dunk meters off the poster machine. But yeah, as of now, if you're a 6'8" and shorter slasher and you have like 85 ball handle, 80 speed with ball, you get blur takeover. It's super broken. Long story short, they have the poster machine ability in blur that also gives you easy blow-bys. So blur has easy blow-bys in poster machine as far as like the easier meter dunk timing, and then poster machine has nothing. It just has don't have to time your alley-oops, which is a pretty garbage ability. So for the time being, find something different to run than poster machine. I just finally loaded up on a build that had Dishmaster instead, and let me tell you, it feels great to actually have a takeover that I'm equipping after playing nearly 1,000 games of 2K with a poster machine ability that doesn't even do anything. So I don't know, it's not exactly too impressive. And then the last little detail video, or part of the video that we have right here until I get into the animations and breaking down the footage and stuff like that, is suggestions for your surrounding cast. So it's ideal to have players capable of moving around on the 3-point line for random wrap-ups or flare-ups to generate threes on demand. I think you, as a slasher, if you're someone that's ISOing or something like that, and if you're not ISOing, it probably leads into the other bullet point that we have right here, but if you are someone that's ISOing, it's very nice to have reliable 3-point threats that can kind of like be fast and move around on the perimeter, hit a nice little flare up out that corner if they have a bigger player on them, and just generate 3-pointers that way. Now, what also generates 3-pointers as well is either the pick and roll. If you have some people on your team that are capable as pick and roll ball handlers and you can turn yourself into a pick and roller on demand, that's nice. Or if you play with stretch bigs that are lined up at a bigger position than you, you'll be able to get like smaller matchups on you, which inherently makes the bigger defenders that are on your teammates want to sag down or like crash down on your drives and stuff like that, and gives you easy driving kicks to them, which is once again another way to generate 3-pointers if you're not exactly a 3-hunter yourself, in reference to how I play essentially, right? Because a lot of mine is kind of like Giannis style, where it's going to be a lot of I'll shoot wide open off the top if I am, but if people are guarding me high, I'm going to beat my guy off the dribble, and then at that point I can either just take the 2, or if it creates help defense of people dropping down, I will be dotting things like that as well. So anyway, that's our little bullet points and stuff like that, just giving you a couple little detailed explanations. Let's go ahead and get into the animations, then I'll show you the actual footage breakdown. We'll start getting it in the mind of a slasher. Alright, so for animations, we have everything loaded up right here. You're actually going to see I am on my 94 pass act build, 99 eventually. It's all going to be the same animations though. I'm just testing out some pass styles and stuff like that. This Jimmy looked pretty interesting, so I'm giving it a try. In 5s it was nasty, but in 2s and 3s I'm not exactly sure if I'm a huge fan of it. But anyway, I'm gonna go down the list of anything that's important of note and just let you guys know. So what you are seeing is me on a 6'10" point center build. If you are someone that's a smaller slasher, I'll try and give a couple recommendations for things I would like to suggest, but I don't have a ton of suggestions because a lot of these layup normals and stuff like that, I don't really have as much capability of telling you about stuff like that. But I will say, what is nice is a lot of my SIGs kind of transcend into the smaller wing builds as well. So, for instance, we have the Kevin Durant ones are usable at like 6'5" all the way up to 7'4". Well, technically not, because you won't have enough ball handle. But anyway, point being, they're wing and big, like, capable. So we have things like the pro crossover, pro behind the back, pro step back. All of these are usable at any, you know, like, height as far as the wings to big, stuff like that. KD Hezi, KD spin, combo moves, escape moves for all Kevin Durant, sig size up. Giannis dribble style is an absolute must. If you are a wing, Zach LaVine, definitely the best aside from that. But yeah, for the bigs, absolutely Giannis if you're like playing like a slasher. And then for the breakdown combo, I have Julius Randle. This is once again a wing to big, so if you are a wing, you can literally just copy every one of the dribble moves that I have. And then for most of my layup stuff, you also can. However, we have like Embiid for the layup normal, Zion for the reverse. Now for the floater, I have Sabonis, but like I said, if you're a wing, I would recommend Bam. But yeah, Sabonis is really nice. You have to be in the middle of the court. We'll talk about this when we get to the floater section of the video. That's like very specifically detailed to that. You don't get anything other than the layup quick scoop for the default big. For Euro, I do have Zion. This actually looks decent in comparison to anything else I've seen that bigs can get. And it's pretty nice in terms of getting to those Euro dunks quickly. But again, I don't really utilize them too much. What I do utilize is the layup hop step right here of Julius Randle. This is huge. It really just has so much range on it and stuff like that. I'll have another section that's detailed to just hop dunks as well, showing you that. And then for the spins, I have Sabonis. Nothing crazy. It's just the best I can get, in my opinion. And then we have, I don't know, a whole bunch of miscellaneous stuff right here. Motion style, I'm using Dwight Howard currently. I don't know exactly what is the best in the soup or anything like that, but I just looked at the 2K Lab stuff, and I figured this was maybe one of the better ones to try. But anyway, that's all for the SIGs right there. However, we do still have the dunk style creator. So, as I mentioned, you guys, I'm testing the Elite off too. I don't know how much of a huge fan I am of this, but I want to give it a little bit more of a run. At my current opinion, I would say 1 foot pro contacts are probably the way to go in terms of giving you bigger meters. It's just faster naturally, so you find yourself getting contested on them a little bit less. And they have a lot more of the backpack animations like what you're seeing as well of getting people behind you. So it kind of just gets defenders in a good spot as far as like big meter dunks inherently, right? Whereas like something like 2 foot pro is a lot more like straight on and stuff like that, as you're seeing a lot of these clips right here. So I'm just not as much of a fan of these, especially that one that played right there and that as well. I mean, they're pretty trash. I actually think you should take them off rather than even having them on, because as I mentioned, I think it's important to just get open dunks more than anything. Now, I've been considering running front clutches. I'm seeing a lot of people out here on the small guards come out here with this, and it's really aggressive. So I probably will give this a go pretty soon. I haven't tested it myself, though. I'm running side clutches off 1, quick drops off 1, and then if you're someone that can get Devin Booker, that would be well worth doing as well. If you have a higher dunk like me, straight arm tomahawks, I'm also running. I use this as a substitute for LeBron because I don't want any NBA player dunk packages. I don't like the variance of them. I'd rather just keep a very simple specific loadout of like 3 or 4 different dunks that pop off, and same has applied to my standing dunks. I don't want super slow ugly ones, because when I end up getting past someone in the paint, a lot of these slow me down to the point where the defender just ends up making it a small meter dunk, because the slower the dunk, the more contested it's going to end up being. So what I have deemed is one of the better ones is Elite Basket Rim Pulls. I like the quickness, I like the consistency, and I like it being a two-handed dunk. The one-handers can be a little bit odd sometimes in terms of like its reliability, and I do just feel like these are fast and simple to use. And again, I'm using the Pro Big Man standing dunks right here because you might as well just have one. I think it's well worth having if you are someone that has only 81 standing dunk. I probably think the Elites are better though if you had to pick one. So if you want to go with the ideology of what I was talking about, you can go ahead and just run Elite. I think running both for now though, because I don't really know how I truly feel about taking one of those off or not, I would just recommend to run both. But anyway, yeah, as far as the alley-oops and stuff like that, I currently just have everything on that I can afford. Same with the contact lobs as well. And then if I really was running any 2-foot dunks, it was like this athletic front tomahawk was interesting as far as the quickness on it. And also you should know, the more dunk packages you have, the more reliable you will get a dunk when you do gathers. I will just let you know that. So if you do want LeBron for something of that reason, feel free to. I was running Amari Stoudemire as well for a little bit, but I do think the goated crazy dunk that I was getting of like, it seems, I don't know if it's going to pop up in this LeBron package because there's just a lot of them, but, oh, it's that one right there. Okay, yeah. So that is like super aggressive and it looks really good in game, but with all the other dunks that just come with it, I'm not really sure I'm a huge fan. So I don't know. I'm just rocking with what I got right here. So feel free to check them out if you would like. If you have something else in mind that you also would like to do, I don't know, feel free to implement your own little style and your own swag to it. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the clips now. I don't really know where to start. I think I'm gonna start with the hop dunks real quick. I just want to kind of hammer home some like specific stuff, and then I'll get into the like clips of actually showing all the meter dunk stuff and like the true slasher things. Alright, but I did figure I might as well just show you guys hop dunks and floaters and stuff like that in specific, because I have about a minute or two cut up of each, and I just want to show you like using them. So again, I want to let y'all know we're here in this point of the video for breakdowns. If you expect me to just show you some highlights and stuff like that, feel free to check out the mixtape. You know, I'm just gonna be like, I'll probably post a super long mixtape. I don't even know how I'm gonna go about it yet, to be fair, but yeah. Feel free to just check out the whole like long-term uncut like version of that actually has like, you know, clips formulated. But in this, I'm just trying to show you guys some actual breakdowns of why I'm doing certain things. So right here, my use of hop dunks is to avoid help defenders. Now, the reason I told y'all I really like the hop dunks way more than Euros and spins and stuff like that is because, I mean, technically you can gather a spin, you don't have to go up with it, but Euros you do have to go up with. You either have to bail out of it or you have to commit to the drive. So with the hop, if they were to double team me right here and I just completely was guarded by both, I can just come down with it and pass to the corner. Or if you have an elite level of passing as well with the pass accuracy, you could just bail out over to this like off the first hop like this and just spam over to the corner. But as you can see, just reading out the defense, and like I said, it's very good for beating help defenders. So you can see me go all the way. Like even if he did commit to that, I probably still could finish it because of the crazy gather distance that it has on it. So again, what you're going to see me do a lot of hop dunks for in a lot of cases is to avoid a help defender like this right here. You know, I'm moving to the side horizontally. I'm not sure what this defender is doing yet. So instead of me making that panic pass or dribbling right into him and just fumbling and like, you know, the ball bumping off his hip, instead I'm kind of, what would I even say? It's almost like I'm putting a freeze frame on it, or I'm pausing, and I just want to read the defense and just allow this to like let me see what they're doing. So as you can see, he was baiting off the corner. He didn't commit to it, so I go with the dunk. There will be times, and I probably didn't get clips of it, but there will be times where I just go ahead and come down with it and pass over to the corner like I just mentioned. But anyway, into some 3v3 proving grounds clips right here. Again, I'm assuming boom, snatch back over here into probably a hop dunk to avoid a help defender. I mean, it's the same thing over and over again for every time I ever use one, you know? It's always going to be to in a double defender situation. It's rare that I do it in a one-on-one. Again, two defenders, boom, hop into the side of it. It's nasty. That Julius Randle is really a big time like game changer. So anyway, coming back once again, you can see that one was actually more of a one-on-one, so it's a good example of what we were just kind of in contrast to what we were talking about of how I was mostly doing it in a like a one-on-two situation. This case, he just seemed like he had me cut off and beat to the right, and it's not exactly a time that I wanted to do a behind the back or especially a crossover when he's that tight to you. You don't want to put the ball in front of you. If they're ever this tight, it's probably either a behind the back or a hop dunk, and in this case, I just felt like his leverage was pushing over to the right so hard that I could just do the hop right there, and as you can see, it's pretty much exactly what I intended to do. And it does feel like you have a lot of control over hop dunks in this game. I would just call him a beautiful addition to the game, really. Again, second defender, right? He's helping off the corner, or is he? I don't know. I mean, either way, we're splitting through it. It's pretty nasty, man. I really am a huge fan of them. They're not really spammable. Like, I guess you can't really call them like something where it's like 2K20, but I think it's probably the best they've been since 2K20, to be real with you. So, anyway, just a couple more clips of this. You're going to see once again, this is overload. So generally, against the overload, you probably will see situations like this where there are going to be help defenders, because naturally people just gravitate toward letting a little bit more of a 2-on-1 or help defense kind of play when you have two guys on one side of the court rather than like one corner and one corner. So again, I mean, this is beautiful, bro. I gotta say, snatch back into the run and just boom, avoid that help defender with the hop. You rarely ever get bumped on them too. It really is something you can put in your bag consistently. And again, it's just for situations like that. He's cutting off my left, so I just hop back to the right. Simple. I mean, it's really just so clean. So anyway, into a little bit of a snatchback right there. Once again, he has me beat to the left, so I just beat to the right, so I just hop back to the left right there. Looking good. this is in Pro-Am too, and it's exactly where I'd like to think a lot more of the occurrence of these hops becomes important. Again, help defender off the wing, and they don't drop, and it's a smaller defender coming off the corner, so I just go straight at him right there as well. Get the dunk to go. Once again, snatch back into another hop. I mean, this one's just a little bit more smooth than anything. It's not exactly like with a lot of intention, other than, once again, it's like a slow step. I just want to read the defense a little bit more. So simply just hopping away from that help defender off the pinch, because for all I know, when I was going for that, he might really like pinch like super hard off the hash. So hop right there, gets past my guy. I mean, there's a lot to break down on this one. It crabs my defender to the right, because this is what you can also do with it, is try and nudge your way in here and like get past your own defender while also getting away from this one and getting away from the corner defender as well. I mean, it really was the perfect setup of a hop dunk. So there's your breakdown on the hop utilization. Let's talk about some floaters real quick, then we'll get into the full slasher breakdown. Okay, so this right here is going to be pretty much like a defender on my back right here, and I just decided that going for a floater was decent. I don't know, there's not a whole lot much to break down with that one, to be real with you. I think what I'm really going to show you in a lot of cases is like me on a pure inside and them just sagging off so much to the point where I get something for free. So there's Sabonis, right? If you want a breakdown on this, because I don't think we need to spend too much time on the floaters for Sabonis, but essentially the breakdown on this is, if you want to get this running hook animation, you need to be on the left, moving to the middle, or on the right, moving to the middle. It's going to be just as simple as that. You could be all the way over here too. You could be like all the way on the left hash, and as long as you're moving to the right, you're going to get this good floater animation of the running hook shot. And it's hard to contest. It's a really underrated animation in my opinion, and I haven't really seen anybody do it, to be real, other than me. I don't know, but I would suggest this to a lot of people if you're a big man that doesn't have a lot of shooting on you, or just in general as a floater animation for a lot of bigs out there. So yeah, into the Pro-Am though, in the Pro-Am clips that you're going to see, I had BAM. So BAM is going to be a different case, where the way to use BAM is you're going to have to move toward your dominant hand. So for me, that's my left hand, and you could be anywhere on the court. You could be on the right, moving, as long as the ball is in your left hand and you're moving a little bit to the left, it'll give you this animation right here. And I didn't even do it from exactly like super far, but as you can see, I kind of just popped it off in transition right there. And you'll see me do that a lot with the floaters, is doing it in transition. It's kind of, you'll see a lot of guards use front fades and stuff like that, but for me, it's like, this is my front fade, you know what I mean? And it's really consistent and reliable, easy to make. I mean, the floaters are significantly easier to make than a front fade, just in general. So anyway, right here you can see him sagging off, so now I'm just going for it in just a half court setting as well. And this is exactly the situation that I think it's useful for. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I beat my defender by any means, but as you can see, I mean, there's a guy jumping at me and I'm not even going to shoot the ball or anything. But after you get past a guy and you can see someone is sitting in the paint perfectly, granted, the right read is to just pass the ball up to the top right here, but instead, I mean, you don't always just have the luxury of knowing exactly what the defense is going to do at every given moment. So attacking as a scorer sometimes can lead you to getting open floaters like this as well. So yeah, I mean, that's my simple take on it. And same thing applies right here. I beat my defender, but there's another one sitting in the paint. Once again, there's probably a proper read when it comes to passing, but I don't know. I really do appreciate the passing in the game. I mean, I'm a guy that doesn't like missing wide open people, but it's not every day you can just, you know, like constantly make the right read and the right play every single time. So to have a couple more things in your bag doesn't hurt anything. So right here, I actually kind of got a little bit fortunate with this, because I'm not going to lie, this is not exactly the way that Sabonis is supposed to set up. You're supposed to be moving toward the middle. I just happened to be close enough to the middle that it still gave me the running hook shot, and I barely even make this. It was probably like off in terms of even just being on the green window in the first place of what they're showing me. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, whether you call this a good take or not, I don't know. Anyway, it goes in for game right there, and yeah, it's on a build that can't shoot the ball either. So floaters, good for beating defenders in the paint. It's about as simple as that, right? Whether it's your own defender or another one that's like helping and rotating down. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to some dunk meter clips and talk about what makes a good meter, what makes a bad meter, and what you should be doing as far as your dunks and all that stuff. All right, y'all, so I can't lie, this is 8.5 minutes of slasher clips right here. I'm not sure if we're going to do the whole thing. If I find myself repeating myself pretty consistently, we'll probably just cut it short, but I highly doubt you need all 8.5 minutes of this to really learn exactly what I'm talking about, but it's just every clip I've deemed was worthy of actually putting in the cut up right here as a slasher. So anyway, what you're gonna see me do is a half spin right here. Boom, cook this defender. I mean, dude, the half spins can get nasty. So in order to do this, you're just gonna, and I did a crossover first to actually get set up into the spot. But in order to do a half spin, you're just gonna move your stick from pretty much like 6 o'clock to about like 3. So just move it from like the bottom all the way to the right, and you're gonna see that half spin pop off right there. It's pretty clean, but it's not something you really have to have in your repertoire or anything like that. But anyway, this is going to be stuff from whether it's like my shooting big or it's just like a pure inside, stuff like that. So the ones that you're seeing early are probably on my shooting big, and then the other ones that you'll see at the very end of this are going to be like not. So small guard, coming off the corner, late arriving, help defender. This is going to be a good meter every time. I got to say, like, you can see me not even full bar or anything like that, and that's why it's nice that sometimes I have clips that aren't even like perfect timing on the meter dunk, because then there will be breakdowns on, as you can see, it bounced back a little bit, so there's plenty of room as far as making that dunk meter. Good take. We ended up beating these guys 22-0 as well. And then I didn't even mention the two-way tenacity, but just know that obviously it can make your dunk meters bigger as well. But yeah, I have the garbage poster machine on. Now, I will say, one thing poster machine is good for is these self lobs. You'll see a couple of these clips of me throwing self lobs. I'll just let them play out. It's not exactly something I really want to break down too much, but if you are curious about how to do it, I believe it is Y and B at the same time, or is it X and Y at the same time? I don't even remember, to be real with you. I think it's X and Y at the same time, but I don't know. I'm sure you can just look into the controls. It's not exactly something I deem as comp, to be real with you. I wouldn't do it too often. So anyway, snatchback into snatchback into snatchback into crossover. I mean, I don't know. I guess if you would like to know about the dribble moves, I already did a dribble tutorial as well. So like, and I used a lot of these clips. So just understand, if you want the full detailed breakdown of how to do all these, there is a video of that as well if you'd like to check it out. So I won't spend too much time doing it, but yeah, flicking down on the stick while running forward is how you get that snatchback animation, and then flicking to the left right there is getting that crossover. So all that to get into a good meter dunk. Let's try and focus on the dunking aspect of these things. So like, easy take right there, obviously it's gonna be how some of these go, right? And it's kind of the way it works in this game. I mean, ridiculous. X and Y at the same time, like I said, I'm pretty sure, for the alley-oops, for the self-lobs. And with the poster machine, you get a lot of them too. And I mean, as you can see, like, this is me just swagging out sometimes. What can I say, bro? We're up 18-5, and I'm kind of just memeing on people sometimes, you know? But anyway, snatchback. He has me cut off, so I go for another snatchback, and as you can see, into the standing meter dunk. Now, this is where I was telling y'all, I do have some standing dunk animations from the past that, in my opinion, in situations like this exactly, it slows me down, gets a terrible dunk animation, and turns into a small one. I think to have the correct dunk packages on this is very important, and what I have you guys set up on, in my opinion, is the best way to go about it. If you want to, like, you know, mold a couple things differently yourself, feel free to as well. Right here, easy dunk meter, obviously, you know, no one's there. It's simple as that. And that's why I'm telling y'all, in a lot of cases, dribbling yourself open is the important, like, skill gap when it comes to dunk metering, if you ask me. Now, again, the blinders aspect of things is a foolproof way to get good dunk meters. I mean, truly, this guy being behind me and to the side of me right here is always going to be a good dunk meter, no matter who it is. It doesn't matter if they're a 99 block build, 99 interior defense. If they are on the back and on the side of you, it is going to be a good dunk meter. Now, that varies a lot in terms of, like, if it's closer to them being in front of you, or if it's a really elite defender, it might change in terms of the size and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, again, off to the side, late arriving help defender, not going to be a good defense by any means. So anyway, into the next clip, we got a guy sitting low. I'm going to go ahead and try and cook him though, and we just get the ankle breaker. Once again, nobody in the way. Simple as that. You're going to hear me kind of repeat myself, and that's why I think I will cut this part of the video short a tad bit, is because I don't really think it's a whole lot to explain other than to simply say getting yourself open for the dunk meter is kind of the way to utilize it the most in this game. Because, again, yamming straight on someone's head is not exactly the way to go about things. I think you really want to be able to beat your defender with dribble moves and not really have to bang on someone as a help defender if they're already down there. Now, lobs, however, contact lobs are really good. I mean, we're already looking at one right here, you know? It's pretty disgusting. And to have Aerial Wizard and all the contact lobs and stuff like that can be really helpful. Right here, you can see, I'd like to think this is a really good dribble combo. And I'm not going to lie, I don't really know the interior defensive level of everybody that's on the court. This is probably around a 6'7", 6'8". Bonnie's trolling as well, just baiting his guy down in the paint for me right there. I don't know why. But anyway, breaking my defender down, and then a late arriving help defender. I'm fortunate for this one to have been a big meter, though. I feel like I don't think against a good defender with like good levels of interior defense or anything like that, that would remain a good dunk meter. And same with right there as well, just again a late arriving help defender. Some of these clips are from very early in the game as well, where high block builds weren't as popularized or anything like that. I guess you could credit me for some of that case, for being my own downfall of condoning the community to make a bunch of high block builds and stuff like that. And on top of that too, they might not have had their badges and stuff in some cases as well. So some of these older clips might be a little bit harder to break down, but, and again, I mean, self lobs, I don't know. It's just corny cheese. I don't know. I mean, it's not even really cheese though, to be fair. Now this one's actually a good breakdown as far as dribbling yourself open. Pro behind the back, getting yourself open off this. So off the top, you know, getting into that snatch back. Once again, another behind the back of a stationary one. And then, assuming my defender is going to beat me to the left right here, I hit the behind the back. This can be dangerous though. I do want to let you know, this is something that you will fumble consistently if you do it any closer with that guy being to the right of you right there and fumbling into his body. So be careful when you do downhill behind the backs and make sure that you're getting that opening to the right when you go for them. But that did get me into the blinder zone of like the dunk meter right there and set me up with a good take. And again, these are going to be clips on my pure inside. So yeah, a lot of these are just me bag work trying to like get to the dunk meter and not having the ability to shoot at all. So I'm just trying to break my defender down and try and get to the hoop. So right there, blow him back with the snatch back. Once again, ankle breaker, get into an easy dunk meter with him not being able to animate. I will say though, you don't always need to jump to be able to make it a small meter in this game. That's also kind of a concern I have with it as well, is like getting into a good guarding spot essentially is also a way to defend them. Like that one you could see was starting to shrink a little bit, and it's because he was in a decent guarding position. Yeah, and then like moving into this one, I mean, we already have him grabbed. I don't know. You guys can see the side clutches popping off in game some as well though. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to spend too much time on these dunk meter clips. I think a lot of this is pretty recycled information and stuff like that we've gotten to. But I do hope a lot of this did help you in the video. And again, things like the crossover. I went for a dunk meter right here, and if you ever want to know, I only held it down ever so slightly and barely at all. I don't even know if you're going to see the meter pop up, to be fair. But yeah, if you do spam your X button though, or square, I think. Yeah, square. After you go for that dunk meter, you can acrobat out of it, and I've seen those go in at a very good rate as well. So if you ever do get into a meter dunk that you didn't want to confidently take and you wanted to cancel out of it, feel free to just spam your X button. You'll get out of it and be able to get to that pretty well. So right there, once again, breaking people down a little bit off of like the ISO and just getting into the dead zone. I do this mid-range ISO a lot when I'm on the pure slasher, and when I'm on my 1v1 build that I've recreated as well with a high mid-range, I find myself being able to ISO really easily from this range because people have to react to every single move or else you will beat them to the hoop. So to do it with no mid-range though is a little bit tough. I'd like to think if you have the three-pointer, it's a little bit easier to like operate from the top right there. Once again, blinders dunk, people off to the side, not a great defender or anything like that. I don't know. Simply put, a lot of these clips are a lot of the same things played over and over again. So anyway, I think that's going to be all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, feel free to drop a like, 7 new time noties, all that good stuff. Like always, try this one to 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put Laker or put dunk in the comment search parts through. By the way, one last note. This is the LeBron dunk, in case anybody was curious. It's that crazy animation I was talking about of getting like a crazy back scratcher that gets way up in the air and like comes down and just slams it like insane. I don't know. If you want to run LeBron, feel free to. I just don't find that I want all the other variants animations popping off or anything like that. So yeah, anyway, you guys have seen a lot of side clutches, a lot of quick drops and stuff like that, dunk animations. This is the contacts off 2, and I gotta say, I'm not a fan, simply put. I mean, look at this. You saw it play out in the preview animation. So boom, 1-2, and then you can see it is off 2 right there. This is a reason I don't like it, in my opinion. I think it slows it down. It gives a bad meter, small meter way too often. Not a fan. I mean, even the take itself wasn't great necessarily, where like I guess it was into a lot of traffic, to be fair. But yeah, not exactly something I really condone too much. So I would recommend to take the Elite off 2, or the Pro off 2 off. I mean, right there, I do feel like I had a beat actually, to be fair. And yeah, I just think the dunk animation that it puts me into right there, not exactly great. So, I don't know. And then, yeah, that's probably LeBron right there, to be fair, or straight arm tomahawks, one of the two. Anyway, I think that's enough. We don't have to spend like way too long on this, make it a 40-minute video or anything like that. I'm guessing it's probably already approaching like 25 or 30 or something like that. So yeah, that's everything you need to know as a slasher. So anyway, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to drop a like, sub new to on noties, all good stuff. And like always, try to 1,000 likes. And again, if you made it to the end of the video, put slash or put Laker in the comment search bar through. I appreciate you guys for watching this. I always love that I've like created a slasher community and stuff like that out of like just my YouTube channel, and that it's always put on for slashers. So I'm always looking out for you guys. I'm trying to like put on for the people that want to play like me, and it's fun, you know, kind of being almost like a mascot of the playstyle itself. It really is cool. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for nearly 10 years now, and yeah, it very much so comes naturally. And I hope that if any of you guys try and pick it up, that me putting these like tidbits of information of trying to break my whole brain down for you guys actually helps you try and emulate the playstyle as well. So anyway, that's all. Hope you enjoyed. And that, take it easy, man. Peace.